I'm Heather Vale with Performance Marketing Insider, and I'm with John Malik, CEO of Native Ads. Hey, John, welcome to Vegas.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
So what brings you here?
So we're in Vegas right now meeting with a really cool group of people who are part of our parent company's investment group, and they are putting together a large round to secure an opportunity to build some data scientist teams in China who will be helping us to do a new algorithm using artificial intelligence for predictive ad matching. So it's like ad matching, relevance scoring, and all kinds of beautiful machine learning all built into one really badass algorithm.
And I see you brought the weather from Vancouver with you.
Yes, this is something that we tend to do. Everywhere we go, we try to make it rain.
So tell us more about this artificial intelligence. That sounds very intriguing.
Yeah, so right now, when you look at the relevance matching that's happening in native, there's a lot of different ways that you can gather the right data to match the ad with the content as well as the user that's consuming the content. This could be search behavior, this could be IAB interest categories, this could be anything. But when we talk about artificial intelligence, it's finding beyond those surface level KPIs and metrics that you can measure to see the trends in different types of segments of customers, whether they be looking at a sports site and then a finance site, and then they might be interested in reading a lifestyle article, and bringing into that the ability to match the sponsored content as if we're actually a human being. So think of it like this. A human being will read Article A, Article B, and Article C. What the AI will do is start to see these trends down to a very granular level and start to predict what people want to read next. So it's not just saying, well, if you're reading a finance article, you must want to read another finance article. Or you clicked on Kim Kardashian yesterday, so you must want to read about her again. It's actually looking down to trends and building profiles of human beings based on what they read, and then looking for an opportunity to replicate those trends for higher relevance scoring and more engagement on the sponsored content that we serve.
So you read about Kim Kardashian yesterday, so you must be interested in Kanye West today.
Something like that. Hopefully we can find more sophisticated
or Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah.
All right, cool. So how long has Native Ads been around?
So Native Ads as a team has been around since 1997. Our founder or co-founder and my partner, Charlo Barbosa, actually started poker.com way back in the 90s. He launched one of the first affiliate white label poker software programs. And since then, he's launched a plethora of ad networks ranging from direct CPV to a bunch of others, including everything from CPV experiences, cost per click experiences, search, display, you name it. In 2012, him and I partnered up, and we actually launched a bunch of content sites. And what we were was essentially a publishing group. So we were putting together content sites with the interest of making money, yielding direct and ad network ad revenue. During this process is when we started to learn how important native advertising and content marketing is to the publisher world, and also how important it is to the advertiser world. So we started to use all the platforms and sample them. And they were doing an amazing job because they're first movers in the market. This is 2012. But there were some deficiencies and some opportunities to build additional feature sets that as a media buyer, you really need. So that's when we decided it's time to start thinking about how we can make a service for everybody based on the expertise that we had attained through being both an advertiser network operator as well as a publisher ourselves. So in 2014, we purchased nativeads.com. We went all in. We repurposed some old technology as well as built some new proprietary technology. We launched a direct publisher program. And then in 2015, in January, we launched our advertiser platform. And we are so excited with the progress and the features that are in it already.
So, it seems like these days there's a lot of native advertising platforms popping up. Why do you think there's such popularity with that format?
Well, it is really one of the best ways to get the right consumer at the right time to read an advertorial that will warm them up for a high conversion rate. With search, we're experiencing efficiencies because it's inbound marketing. However, it's expensive. Those keywords are not cheap. With display, you can do a good job if you're retargeting, but we all know the click-through rate on the banner is a little suboptimal if you're trying to do a first touch. Social is great, but maybe it's not the best element for your campaign to have your ad sandwiched beside somebody getting proposed to or what somebody had for lunch and things like that. So what we recognized is why it was such a valuable thing to be able to cast a wide net out into the internet on high quality websites, suggesting an article which will then pre-frame people who are maybe interested in a product but didn't know they were, They read an article, it educates them, it gets them warmed up. And from there, as a 2-click fashion, it takes them through to an offer page. Same thing for a publisher. If they're looking to build a new audience, there's no better way to get a new audience than to show off your content. And that's why I believe native is not just the future, it's also the present right now.
So, with so many competitors popping up, how are you guys going to set yourselves apart in the long term?
The first thing we did is we decided to remove the word competitor and have them as cooperators, or, the frenemies, whatever you want to call them. But we've had a really strong relationship with Outbrain, with Rev Content, recently with Content.ad. We've added Yahoo Gemini, and we're in the process of also adding Facebook, and I forgot Hearst Properties. So we've got a lot of really great partnerships that are leveraging the ability to sell their traffic to our advertisers in addition to our direct publishers. And where we differentiate is on a few different things. So I'm going to apologize because I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff at you. Okay. The first part is the automation in our platform. We've made painless A/B testing so that you can load up 10 headlines, 10 images, automatically create 100 ads without having to upload them one at a time. And then the algorithm sends them out to see who are the winners and who are the losers. Now, when we talk about what is the definition of an ad that's winning or losing, we have 3 different ways that we define that. If you're a publisher, you're interested in either page views or revenue per click. And revenue per click is really unique to us because what we did is we integrated with Google Analytics so that when a publisher connects their Google AdSense and Ad Exchange to the Google Analytics, we're actually able to sniff out how much money they're making from each specific UTM down to the ad level. Then, and on top of that, we're able to pull in the stats from the third-party network. So now a publisher can say, if I'm paying 5 cents for a click or 4 cents for a click, I want to turn off the traffic if I'm not making back 6 cents. So it really allows them to protect their budget. Now, when we talk about a traditional advertiser, so maybe they have a service they want to sell or a product they want to sell or they want to generate a lead, what we do with them is we have a conversion optimizer. So you put in your CPA goal and the platform will automatically turn off the traffic if we're not hitting that CPA goal. So those are 3 really key automation features: is the page view optimization, revenue per click, as well as the CPA. So that's one element. The other thing that's really cool is we're converting CPC bids into a CPM bid across the open RTB ecosystem. So not only are we pulling in traffic from our own pubs, Yahoo, Rev Content, Outbrain, Yahoo Gemini, I said that already, Hearst, but we're also soliciting from 20 major SSPs, including some of the most major exchanges that are sitting on OpenRTB. So you literally can access all of the internet through one access point that's automated and friendly to use. And that's what we're seeing as a key differentiation. Beyond that, when we bring in that data science and the artificial intelligence, I think it's going to be a really great offering.
Yeah, so they can use all your features and still have access to other platforms that they might be already using?
Yes, that's the one thing I want to really make sure that I'm clear on, is that we don't by any means suggest that somebody leave their direct usage of those platforms. We're in addition to their strategy and not a substitution. So if you're using Outbrain, for example, and you're having a good experience, we'd encourage you to try our platform in addition. If you're using Rev Content, come to us and use it in addition, and you can use all of these platforms because using it directly can also have its advantages. But we believe that you might not want to spend that much time going through spreadsheets and figuring out how you can optimize your campaigns if we figured out how to automate it. So it's definitely a and versus an or.
Yeah, so for the people who like to consolidate and have everything in one place, it's good to do the other platforms through your platform. But if they want more granular data opportunity, then they might find it an and situation.
Yeah, I think sometimes they'll get the same data from us that they would if they use the platforms directly. But I think sometimes you have a campaign that's dialed in and it's been running for 6 months with success. And if you try to recreate that in another platform, it might not hit the algorithm the same way and you might not get the same delivery. So if you have something that's working, age-old saying, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. But if it's not broken, maybe you try to replicate it. And that's what we're bringing to the table. In addition, we have a really rock star managed campaign service where we bring in content development, creative development, and basically help any advertiser that is not accustomed to what a native advertorial landing page looks like. And we reverse engineer their offer page or their direct response page into a native advertorial, so that way they can participate in native immediately and not be limited to only the traffic that supports this direct response landing page style.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what kinds of publishers do you guys have natively?
So if you add up all of the publishers that are in those platforms mentioned, I think the question is, what publishers do we not have natively? And we honestly have all of them. for our direct publisher base, being a smaller boutique exchange, we were not able to go and get the big brand names directly. We do have some, but we focus more on like the tier 2 and tier 2.5 publishers, because users sometimes like to go where they go, and you can't control if they want to be on a Time Inc. site or a mom and pop blog. So we wanted to make sure that we cast a net deep enough that we can capture the user wherever they're browsing online. And we're very fortunate to have the partnerships we do with those said platforms in order to have the premium publishers. So if an advertiser is only interested in something premium, on brand, specific to their particular objectives, we can deliver that. But if they're just looking for the right type of user at the right time, then we try to cast it so we can create efficiencies in their CPC bid and get them traffic at a more cost-effective rate.
Okay. Can you give us some examples of what you would consider tier 2 or tier 2.5?
Think of any blog that's getting between 100,000 to 500,000 uniques, and the content that they're writing, it is unique, but it's based off of what else is buzzing. So an example would be, TMZ, although it's an entertainment, kind of a celebrity gossip site, people would consider that a tier 1. Now, how many sites out there are there with viral this or buzz that or something buzz or daily viral? There's millions of them. And all of those we would consider like the tier 2.0 or 2.5. Another example would be the Hearst lifestyle sites, so like Home and Garden or the parenting sites that they have. These are first class. Oprah.com is a first class site to have your ad placed on. But there's a lot of other really lovely lifestyle blogs and home and garden type blogs out there that the users are still sophisticated. They have purchase intent. There would be the kind of users you would want to target, and you might pay a little bit less. So we have this algorithm that says, based on who you're looking for, we'll try to deliver the traffic at the most efficient rate that we can. But should those sources not be converting as well as the premium ones, then it'll turn those off and focus on the ones that are converting.
Oh, okay. And it does all that automatically?
It does all of that automatically. You just have to punch in those inputs so that the platform knows what it is your buying strategy. You can define if you want it to kick in as early as 25 clicks in, or you could wait to even 100 clicks. And once you set that boundary as to when you want the automation and the optimization to turn on, it just starts killing things that aren't doing what you said you need to do.
Okay. So what kind of ad, for lack of a better word, converts the best when we're talking about native advertising? Presumably there has to be some kind of content component.
That's correct. So the assets that are involved before the click are a strong headline, balancing between engaging and clickbait. There's really a fine line, and they're very blurry.
Oh, we all love clickbait.
Oh, we all do. Number 5, I can't believe number 5, right? Yeah, absolutely. So we encourage our advertisers to learn the balance between an engaging headline that will capture a qualified user and something that is more clickbait that is most likely going to annoy them and result in a negative spend on that particular campaign set. Then from there, once they have their images and their headlines picked out, and we do have a team that'll help them with that, the next part is the landing page, and this is the biggest component of it. So it's really cool. We actually have a little e-course on our website, nativeads.com. You can go and check it out and sign up, and we'll send it to you. And it teaches you what are the components of a strong advertorial native landing page. This is something we're really trying to drive home as thought leadership this year, partnering with a lot of the guys out there that optimize landing pages. There's some great services out there like unbounce.com, for example. And by partnering with these types of companies, we can bring this education to the people who are already having a lot of success in converting on a traditional landing page and inject into those campaigns the strategy of a strong advertorial landing page, which, to your point, is a feature image with a strong headline, some editorial content or a video, and then you put your call to actions neatly near the end. You can have them in the side rail as related content. You can put hyperlinks in the middle. The key is just to make sure that you're giving a value. If you were to take this landing page and isolate it on an island by itself, and in reading it, I don't get anything out of it unless I'm interested in your product, then you forgot what native is. Native means that it is something that can function on its own, just like an editorial piece, either entertaining or it might be informative, but in either case, it has to deliver some type of value exchange. Otherwise, you're missing the point.
Okay, awesome. So if people are watching and maybe they want to be an advertiser with your platform, maybe they're new at it, they want to try native ads, or maybe they've been doing it for a while on other platforms and they want to check out what you have to offer, how do they get involved as an advertiser?
It's really simple. So if you're interested, the first thing I would recommend you do is you go to the website and create an account. Then from there, if it's something that's brand new to you and you want some hand holding, you want to be, brought through it in baby steps, we've got a great team that'll reach out and check in with you regardless if you want to be self-serve or if you want that managed service. And we don't have any additional fees for the managed service. We just ask that you commit to a minimum spend. So the idea is you sign up, one of our lovely team members will reach out to you, and then from there we'll get an understanding of what your objectives are and if you would like some help or if you just want to crack at it yourself.
Okay. And what if someone has a good website with good traffic and they think they might qualify as a publisher?
Well, then they can definitely go to nativeads.com as well and click on the monetize button to become a publisher. And then from there, we have 17 proprietary ad units ranging from the IAB top 6 playbooks to a couple custom ones that are really cool. And again, we'll have a great account manager reach out, determine what would be best to not disrupt the environment of your site, but we'll add yield to your page RPMs and we'll get you started.
What are the criteria for being a publisher?
Well, we look at a lot of different things, and I have to be careful because if I say all of them, some of the publishers out there, some of you bad apples out there, will figure out ways to get into the network and bring the traffic that we're not looking for. But we look at things like the maturity of the domain, the sources of the traffic, the percentage, how much of it is direct and organic versus how much of it is paid social. There's a fine line between having too much traffic that is social or paid versus traffic that is actually organic or search that, these are people who are actually following you. And we look for a good balance. And then from there, we take a look at your website and we're very strict on what we were looking for. If you're plagiarizing other content without giving attribution to the original source or author, that's an absolute no-no. If on your advertisements, you don't have advertisement as an indicator so that people can be, aware that you have ads on your site, image attribution, all of the best practices that you would expect from a publisher if you were going to invest in them as a business, for example, are the same types of things that we look at. To sum it up, think of it like this. We won't let a publisher into our network unless it's the type of publisher we would invest in ourselves. So that's the way we protect our advertisers and make sure that we keep it quality.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, John. It's been great talking to you and finding out about what you guys are doing. I think it's pretty exciting stuff.
Thank you so much for having me, Heather, and I'm sorry for bringing the rain.